Welcome to Dobby's Repairs. I'm Dobby the Fixing Elf. In this video I'll show you how to change the oil on a 2010 Citroën Berlingo. This is a B9 model with a 1.6 HDi engine. I'll show you a few tips and tricks to make this vital piece of maintenance go as smooth as possible. So grab your tools and let's get fixing. So the first thing I like to do is pull the dipstick and open the oil filler cap. And I like to pop the oil filler cap on the bonnet cap so it reminds me that I haven't put oil in. And again, I like to leave the dipstick up for the same reason, just stops me from forgetting to put oil back in. Now underneath, as you can see, this sump plug is very oily. I think it's leaking because of a bad sealing washer. So I'm going to break it open. It's a 21mm fastener, as you've just seen. Yeah, I'm going to break it loose. I'm using an electric ratchet here, but you can just use a normal ratchet for this. Just the electric ratchet makes it a bit faster and a bit easier. And yeah, just open that up. Obviously, don't take it all the way because the oil will pour out and it is quite warm. Just be careful when you're removing the oil. I've warmed this engine up for about 15 minutes before I did this. So the oil is quite warm. It is quite thick and quite sludgy though. So we decided that between me and the owner that we're going to do another oil change in about 5,000 miles. Just to freshen things up. He hasn't had the car very long. Or the van very long, should I say. I should also mention that normally these have a metal skid pan on the bottom of them. There isn't one here unfortunately. Good missing. I would like to show you how to remove that. It's fairly straightforward when they do have them. There's only a few bolts that we need to remove. But just bear that in mind, yours may have a metal skid pan, and obviously I've got it jacked up in the air on axle stands, so make sure you work safely. And yeah, we could drain this oil out now. As you see, it is quite thick and quite nasty, and it has been leaking for a little while. There isn't as much oil as there normally is in here. It normally takes about 3.75 litres of oil. But yeah, just make sure that you're careful with it when you're draining oil because it does get quite warm. It's starting to slow down now, so we're going to head back up to the top and get that next part done. So we're up the top here now. We're going to remove this air pipe so we can get to the oil filter. It's a fairly straightforward process, and we can adjust the camera so you guys can get a better look at it. Probably should have edited this bit out, but too late now. So yeah, you're going to pop this out. Just squeeze the little tabs on the side here, and it'll pop out nice and easily. The other side should be twist fitted, but this side will just push in, so it pops up really easy, should I say. And yeah, now we've got that out, we can get to the oil filter, which is a 27mm bolt. So I'll just show you that now. So just go down there and look down, and there you can see the 27mm fastener on the top of the bolt. This is a replacement oil filter housing, I say, because it's got 25Nm stamped on it, so that's what we'll talk about down to later on. But yeah, fairly straightforward to remove again. So you just break it loose, and yeah, run it out with the electric ratchet. Obviously if you're using a hand ratchet it'll take a bit longer, but yeah, you use any 3/8 hand ratchet I'd recommend normally for this. You don't need to go 1/2 inch unless it's really tight. Then we can get some tissue and pop under the oil filter. Just be careful when you're removing these because obviously the sump plug's still open and more oil will drain out of the sump because when you open the oil filter because it drains out. Just bear that in mind, don't move the drain pan until you've done the oil filter. Just put a bit of tissue underneath it to catch any excess drips that come out from the oil filter. As you can see, it is really quite thick and quite sludgy. It is very warm still, so be careful as well. Make sure you wear gloves for this job, it does get really messy. As you can see here, I'm going to pull the oil filter out. And they are quite stuck in there normally. You do have to give them a good yank. And there we are, it pops off. Fairly straightforward really. Now we've got that out. Have a look and see how grungy and grimy it is. This is why we decided to do a second oil change later on. Once it gets to about 5,000 miles, let the oil run through. And we should clean up the oil filter housing. Make sure you give this all a good clean. Get as much of the old oil out as possible. And just use a bit of brake clean here just to wash it out. And I'll go back with some tissue later on. Yeah, this is all fairly straightforward. Here's our new man filter that we're going to be fitting. This is the one we decided to go for. Most cost effective and decent filter in my opinion. So we could put the new O-ring on. So get a flat blade screwdriver and pry out the old O-ring. You can also use a pick as well, but I've got a flat blade screwdriver here today, so that's what I'm going to be using. And it popped off relatively easily, and now I'm going to put the new one back on. Obviously we're going to use some of the old oil to lubricate it. Luckily there's plenty on my hand as you can see, so we can pop it round and pop it into place and get it nice and flat. Make sure your O-ring isn't twisted or warped at all, like bent, you'll see it. I mean, you've got to be nice and flat when you put it back in. Now on these models there's a little hole that you need to pop a part of the oil filter through. So as you can see, on the top of the oil filter here there is a little divot or a little protrusion, shall I say. Let me just show you. There we are. You can see there it is. You're pointing to the arrow. So you need to pop that in the little hole in the actual oil filter housing on the engine and you should be fine. So you can see I've got that in now. I should have probably changed my gloves, but the oil filter is a bit grubby, but we're going to be changing it soon and again anyway, so not much of a problem. We can tighten it down by hand to get it started. Always tighten your any fastenings you're putting in by hand first. Stops cross threading and makes life a lot simpler and a lot easier. You don't want to cross thread an oil filter housing. It's a pain to get out. And now we're just going to run it down with the ratchet, which is fairly straightforward. And again, this is a nice ratchet. I'm not going to be these aren't the tightening torques. This is just to get it run down. Run it down until it gets nice and snug, and then we'll grab our torque wrench and we'll torque it down. So it's 25 newton meters, as I said earlier, for this. Fairly straightforward. Sorry about the light as well. Unfortunately, the sun kept moving and washing out the image, but as you can see, you still see everything fairly clearly. Now we're going to put the air pipe back in, shall I say. So it just goes in, and we're just going to put it in and twist it in properly. I like to put one end in first and then put the other end in. So there we are. We're just going to get it in the right spot and get it all nice and twisted in. This one is a bit loose and a bit of a tight fit. There we are. It's now back in. Hopefully, there we are. A bit of a fight, but now it's twisted back into place and the other end's in. So now we'll go back underneath the car and give it a quick clean with some brake clean, clear off any excess oil, so we can see if any leaks later on. Just give it a good blast and then give it a bit more of a blast. You will see some more of the oil dripping out. I have still got the drain pan underneath it, so that's catching all the oil, which is quite good. Yeah, we just want to keep letting it drip out while we get the new sump plug. And we've opted for a brand new sump plug with a sealing washer here. You can just replace the sealing washer when you do this, but we've got a brand new sump plug that was cheaper than buying the sealing washer, so might as well buy the whole lot and replace the whole thing. So again, I'm just opening it up now so you can't see that on camera. But you've got a copper cross washer on it that you'll just see me pop in now. So there we go. Just get it in. Start it by hand, obviously. It's going to be a bit of oil dripping around. We will clean it off again afterwards. There we are. Just get it started by hand. There we are. And I'm going to get my ratchet in and tighten it down a bit tighter after giving it a good wipe. Just try and clear as much of the excess oil off as possible. We'll get our 21mm socket back in now. As you can see, I'm using a deep socket with a small extension. I just like the extra length away from the bottom of the engine. Obviously you can use the standard short shallow socket, but I'm just using the longer one. Just going to give it a quick buzz down with the electric ratchet. Again, if you're using a hand ratchet, I recommend a 3/8. You don't want to over tighten these. They don't go very tight at all. Only up to 34mm, so that's what I'm going to tighten down. Just give it another quick clean. It's important that you give it a good clean, so when you check later on you can see if any leaks or anything. So yeah, we just need to quickly tighten it down to 34mm now, so I'm going to get my trusty torque wrench and torque it down to 34mm. You see me coming like this now. Just swap the sockets over. And yeah, just tighten it down until you hear the click with this style of torque wrench. If you're using a digital one, obviously it'll beep at you. But I've got this lovely little click style torque wrench, which is really quite good. Obviously link to all the tools I've used down in the description, so check out the videos on them. Now we're going to top it up with oil, so we're using common oil here, and it's C2, which is very important you get the right sort of oil for these so it doesn't damage the DPF. And yeah, we're going to put in about 3.7 litres. I'm going to put in about 3.5 and then check it until I get to the right level on the dipstick. But yeah, we're going to top it up now, and you see the oil comes in very handy. If you tip your oil can on the side like that, it stops all the splodges, but I'm using a big filter as well. You can do it without a funnel, should I say, not a filter. But yeah, just tip it in like that, and it will go in nice and easily. Again, this common oil is really nice. It's got a lovely little spout on it too, it does help. And yeah, you use any, right, as long as you get the right oil, make sure you use it. It is 530, I believe, fully synthetic. So just make sure you get the right oil with the C2 branding on, because otherwise, as I said, the DPF can get blocked. So definitely worth using the right oil. And that's all done now. So we're going to let the last few drips come out of the funnel here. And then we're going to put the cap back on. Now these caps can be a bit tricky. I do like to try and get my caps so they're the right way up. So they look at them, they look visually pleasing. I'm going to put the dipstick back in and we're going to start the engine and let it run for a few minutes. Circulate the oil around the oil filters and the oil filters, should I say, and just get it everywhere, and then we can go check for leaks after that. I recommend checking for leaks before you put it back on the ground, but if you have got a skid pan on the bottom of it, otherwise you can't see the bottom of the sump and it just makes it more sensible. And yeah, we are done now. As you can see, that's running for a few minutes, and as you can see, we've run it for about 5 to 10 minutes, and we've just checked for any leaks. There's nothing under here at all, so that's always good. And there, you just need to go back at the top and double check the oil, and we'll drop it back down on the ground now, take the axle stands away. And now we've got it back up top, we can check the oil. Just pull it out, wipe it clean, dip it back down and check it. I have allowed the oil to settle before I do this final check. So now we've wiped it off, I'm going to pop it back in and just check. And it's just below the full mark, so that's perfect. And that's how you change the oil on a Citroën Berlingo with a 1.6 diesel engine. Any questions or comments you'd like to add, drop them down below and I'll do my best to reply to them. And a huge thank you to my Fixing Club members, Mako, Rodney, Jason and Sebi. Thank you all for your support, it really helps me and the channel out. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps both the channel and me out. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I post 2 videos a week, so by subscribing, you'll never miss a thing. Got any questions or suggestions? Drop a comment down below, and I'll do my best to reply to everyone. Here at Dobby Repairs, we're all about helping you learn how to work on your vehicle safely and showing you don't need to spend a fortune on tools to get the job done. Want to support the channel further? Become a member, starting at just 99p. Members get perks like early access to videos and more exclusive content. Keep fixing, and I'll see you in the next one.